Hey friends, let's make some garlic knots. We've been making a lot of pasta on this channel, like this Cajun chicken pasta. We also made this chicken fettuccine alfredo pasta and some stuffed pasta shells. So I decided to make some garlic bread to add more carbs to your table.
Is butter a carb?
Yes.
So that you could dip it into all those pasta sauces, those homemade pasta sauces. So let's go. You want to start off with some warm water, pour that out, and then you're going to add in a little bit of sugar. The sugar is going to enhance the flavor of the garlic knots, and it's going to give the crust a nice golden color and help improve the texture. Sugar is like food for yeast. It causes bubbles to help the bread to rise, and it's like a whole scientific thing about converting carbon dioxide and whatever. All I know is that when you mix it in with the yeast like I'm doing now and you let it rest, it's going to bubble up and it's going to help your bread to get bigger and double in size. So after about 5 minutes of you letting it sit there, this is what happens with your sugar, your yeast, and your water. Literally 3 ingredients, and this is a little science, little magic that happens with it. So the next thing that we're going to do is just pour in the rest of our ingredients. So you're going to add in your olive oil, some salt, and you're going to add in your flour. Don't forget that the exact measurements for everything, as always, are going to be in the description box, so make sure that y'all go check down there, because sometimes I'll be writing stuff in there. I don't know if people actually read it. So once you add in your flour, I add it in little by little just so that it doesn't get overwhelming, and I go ahead and mix it. I was using a whisk at first. I don't know why. Just use a wooden spoon because that is way easier, and once you get it to like that ball shape, you want to just cover it up and let it sit for 1 to 2 hours. And that's when the yeast is really going to work its magic, and it's going to puff your dough up to double its size, just like this. So if you notice, I don't really use any mixers or any tools like that, just because I feel like you really don't need anything fancy to get the job done, and also because I don't have any tools, so I just use what I got. So I wanted to show y'all how you can make all of these different things without having to buy special equipment to do it. So once your dough is out, you just want to punch it down. If you're mad at somebody, perfect, go ahead and punch that dough just to get the air bubbles out, and then you want to flour up your surface so that it doesn't stick to your counter or whatever surface that you're using, and you're going to go ahead and knead the dough a little bit. Kneading the dough helps to develop the gluten in the bread, and you'll know when to stop once your dough is looking very smooth and bouncy on the outside and it springs when you press it down. Now you want to form it into kind of like a log shape and then just start rolling it out. See, that's one tool I do got, is a little rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, just do like I used to do in college, get you a wine bottle or something and just roll it out. So the next thing I'll do once I have it rolled out into that rectangular shape is cut out these little 1-inch strips. Now this is the perfect time, if you had some mozzarella cheese, to just add some cheese right in the center of those strips, and then you would just roll the cheese in. This time I chose not to do that, but I do have a video where I did that and I ate it with some really good shrimp pasta. But you just want to roll out your dough regardless of whether or not you put cheese in it. Cross it over and we're going to get ready to make the knot. So you're going to tie this like you would tie any knot. Just loop it through the little hole and pull the one end just like you were tying your shoelace or something. Then you're going to end up with this nice little knot. I don't like to have those ends sticking out like that. I've done it before and I didn't like the way that looked. So I usually tuck these little ends now towards the back just like that and press it down. And I tuck the other little end towards the back and press it down. And there you go, there's your little knot. So I'm going to do this one more time really quickly so that y'all can see how I did it. So basically, if y'all know how to tie your shoes, then you should be able to do this real easy. Roll out your 1-inch strip, make that horseshoe shape, cross it over, and then form your knot, tuck the ends, and there you go. This is what they all look like when they're done. They look so beautiful and amazing. So what you're gonna do is spray down the pan that you're gonna be baking them in, and you want to then start plopping them into that pan so that they don't stick. That's why we use that spray. The thing is, I spread them out just so that they're barely touching. Why? Because we're going to let them sit for another 30 minutes and they're going to expand a little bit more. So you're going to let your rolls take a nap and let them rest for about 30 minutes, and they're going to get bigger just like this. And as you can see, they expanded and now they're kind of like touching each other a little bit more. So it's time for us to make our garlic butter. But this is the point where you would freeze your knots and they would last in the freezer for up to 2 months. But today we are going ahead and making that garlic butter because we want to use them now. So I just put some butter into a little dish. Then I grated some garlic in. I added in some salt because that was some unsalted butter. I'm also adding in some parsley and some oregano. If you have Italian seasoning or Parmesan cheese, this would be a great time to use it, but this is what I had at home, so this is what I ended up using, and it still tasted really great. You pop that butter into the microwave for 10 seconds and you spread that all over the knots right before we put them in the oven. They're gonna go in the oven at 400 degrees for between 15 and 20 minutes. So keep an eye on them around the 15-minute mark and they should come out just like this. We're gonna spread more of that garlic butter on top, and if you want, sprinkle some Parmesan cheese right on there. So now it's time for the big reveal. Is it actually soft on the inside? And when we pop it open, the answer is yes, it is. And my favorite way to eat this is actually with some pasta and just dipping it into the actual pasta sauce. But today I decided to go with the marinara for demonstration. Of course, you can make this or that and dip your garlic bread into it. So I'll see you next time, and I hope you enjoy making this.